Thank you so much, Tanya, as we allow the vibrations to continue through us. I invite a man who needs no introduction in this place to bring our message. And so open your hearts and your minds and be receptive as Plotty Dread comes to us.
Good morning, family. Good morning, beloved friends, and new family, and unity. I want to, first of all, welcome the golden light that Tanya so beautifully introduced into our presence, because it's part of the message that I'm about to bring. Can we turn that down a little down? Yeah? So that I want to speak, because the message that I have to bring is one that you haven't heard in any public arena, any public forum, and it's going to be a little strange to some, disturbing to others, but I think it's time for us at this particular moment in our history on planet Earth to not allow our comfort zones to insulate us from the greatest moment in the history of mankind. As a matter of fact, it is the moment for which all the religions, all the shamanic cultures, all of the mystery schools have been preparing this planet for, and we're actually in the process of something wonderful called the Ascension. This is the Ascension with the capital A. There's a little A ascension where, yes, the soul evolves, and we understand that we're in a process of evolution and growth, but we have an event that has been spoken of from the beginning, and I want to start from the beginning. A lot of people in this room knows what I'm about to say. So this may seem new to some of you, but here how it goes, okay? 200,000 years ago or so, man as Homo sapien was created, and the process through which that took place is something I'm not going to go into today, because that's another talk. But needless to say, Homo sapien appeared on this planet about 200,000 years ago, even though there's a history that goes many hundreds of thousands of years on this planet before that. And we were going along quite wonderfully with our evolution, but something incredible happened about 13,000 years ago. Man experienced a setback. Now I'm going to stop right there and give a quick account of what man really is. We're multi-dimensional beings, and within us exists the potential to evolve from the lowest potential to the most absolute high. And this is processed through 9-dimensional planes that we have access to, beginning from the core of the planet, which is dimension 1, all the way through to the 9th dimension, which is represented by the black hole in the middle of our Milky Way galaxy. Wow, what is that? This doesn't sound too religious. Absolutely not. What I want to introduce you to is the idea that science and spirituality are actually the same thing. And the language of science is the language of spirituality. So I'm going to come with fact-based things. I'll let you know that a galaxy is a machine, is a consciousness machine created by the divine creator to allow itself to experience through levels of density from light to matter, from the 8th dimensional where high self exists in pure light, all the way through descending frequencies of light until finally represented at the 1st dimension. Under your feet, right at the core of this planet exists at the 1st dimension, the feminine aspect of this divine polarity, from Father God at the 8th dimension to Mother God at the 1st dimension. And we are in the middle of that spectrum, that continuity as we spoke of, yes. And Mother God is something that we give no expression to, because we were hoodwinked into believing that God is only expressed through the physical masculine side of the duality consciousness. We've been hoodwinked into a patriarchal system of spirituality through Christianity as it exists, Islam, Judaism. It's a device that was designed to allow us to ignore the mother that exists beneath our feet, so that the rape and the plunder of the planet would be possible by the forces that control what we've been existing under for the last, well, about 5,000 years. That's a bit of a shock to some people, but I know a lot of people are aware of this. So what has happened is that we've been experienced a setback about 13,000 years ago, man was progressing very nicely. We had gotten to about the fourth dimension. And what this means is this. Out of the 9 dimensional planes, at the level of the 5th dimension is the dimension of unity through the heart, where there is no separation, there is only oneness. From the 5th dimension and above, 6, 7, 8, all the way to the 9th, all is perceived as unity. There is no good or evil, up or down. We exist within ourselves in perfect unity with the oneness of God, God embracing all, good and evil, light and dark, no duality. But from the 5th dimension below to the 4th, to where we presently reside at the 3rd, duality exists. And so we have this consciousness of good and evil, up and down. And that exists for a purpose, okay? It exists because by allowing that sheath, that veil around our consciousness, higher self, divine creator, is able to experience the joy of ignorance so that it can grow through lessons, through our experiences, and to experience its own creation. So this is not a device of trickery. It's really a device that the Father and Mother God created so that man can be a vessel for its experience as it ascends from the lowest to the highest. Now, as a result of this descent, what happened is that we were at perfection at the 4th level, and we were supposed to be experiencing an ascent now to the 5th dimension and beyond. This 5th dimension is supposed to be what is involved in the process called the Ascension. And because we experienced a setback, we ended up with these 4th dimensional bodies, these bodies that are capable of higher capabilities. But what ended up happening was that because our consciousness fell through some that's another talk, through some, let's put it, mistakes that were made on the planet, we ended up with physical bodies that have this advanced potential, but suffered a setback, and the evidence is found in our physical structures. Our pineal glands, which is the gateway to our higher self, was shriveled from the size of a ping pong ball to a little pea that exists in our brain. The pineal cone is that center of consciousness within ourselves that allows us to exist at the higher dimensional planes, and it is actually the seat of all of our power. That has been shrunken from the size of a ping pong ball to a little pea. By the time you're 12 years old, it's become calcified. By the time you're an adult, it's completely dormant. So our gateway to the higher parts that Tanya referred to had been disconnected from us because of this fall. Our DNA, which is supposed to exist in 12 strands, was reduced to a double helix structure where only 2 strands of our 12-stranded DNA exist in activity right now, and scientists conveniently call the other 97% of it that has been deactivated junk. Of course, it was their intention to make us believe that it was junk because they don't want us to know who we truly are, because it serves their purpose to keep us in this state of ignorance and suppression. Our Merkaba bodies. Our Merkaba body is an energetic body that exists around the physical vessel. That is the shape of a star tetrahedron, which is 2 tetrahedrons interlocking each other. I wish I had a model to show you, but nevertheless to say, we have this divine body of light called the Merkaba body. Mer for the body, Ka for the soul, Ba for the spirit. And this body of light exists around our physical vessels, and it counter-rotates. And the top tetrahedron spins one direction, and the other one spins in every direction. And it's represented in the Star of David in a 2-dimensional plane, a triangle above and a triangle below. We each have this energetic body surrounding us called the Merkaba body, which in its true functioning self, when spinning, will actually allow us to transform our bodies into the 4th-dimensional state that it, from the 4th-dimensional state that would exist when it's activated, and to transcend and to transfigure, as Jesus did on the Mount, into our 5th-dimensional bodies, and able to move interdimensionally between the 4th and the 5th and wherever we wish to go. It's a Stargate portal. It is the device that, when activated, becomes spread to about 60 feet in diameter for round, and it looks just like what they call a flying saucer. It's a ball with a disc extending outward, and it is actually the body that Ezekiel was described to have arrived, transcended into when he left. It's also known as a chariot. Each of us have our chariots, but it's been deactivated, and it's not even spinning anymore. As a result of that, we've been locked into a 5-sense reality consciousness. a 3D sense of consciousness, but we have these exalted, extremely advanced bodies that are doing nothing, not even arriving at its true potential because of the trick that had happened to our consciousness through the propagation of patriarchal systems and other devices so that we could not know our connection to Mother God. I want to show you that when this disaster happened to mankind, the Brothers of Light reached out to the Galactic Federation of Light, the Andromeda Council, the Brotherhood of White, and they called down for help, to help humanity to rise to the next level. And do you know who they sent to the rescue? The ninth dimension, which exists at the black hole at the center of this galaxy, is really a portal for the next spectrum, the next realm of heavenly planes, which is beyond human comprehension, is beyond us. Through that ninth portal came a being that was sent to actually rescue mankind from a trick that had happened to us, one that has trapped us into a third dimensional consciousness through the deactivation of our divine gifts, so that when the ascension process where the earth is about to shift into the fifth dimension occurs, we would not make it for the ride, we would be left behind. That person to the rescue was incarnated in the being called Yeshua. Yes, who is now known as Jesus Christ, the name that was given to him by the Roman Catholics, but his true name was Yeshua, Yeshua ben Joseph, son of Joseph, Yeshua. Why would they change the name of Yeshua to another name? I don't know. That's another talk. But I mean, needless to say, the person you call Jesus the Christ, his real name is actually Yeshua, and that's what I refer to him. I refer to him by his true name. Why would I have to change it, okay? But this being was sent here for a reason. It was recognized that our DNA is actually a portal that interacts with light, and it is not only receptive to light, but it affects light. Now, what happens is that in our DNA, anything that any human being accomplishes becomes activated in the DNA and then becomes potentially available for every single human being on this planet. So if you achieved a certain level of accomplishment, that becomes immediately available because you activated the DNA, because we all share through a common unity the same DNA signal. The DNA that you see holographically actually exists as a part of the universal whole, so what I achieve becomes available for every single one of you. It was recognized that because when the ascension process occurs, that mankind would not be able to be ready to move with the planet Earth. When she shifts to the fifth dimension, then a rescue system would have to be put in place. And here's what the plan was. The plan is that if they bring somebody, what they call a speaker of words, from the level of creation where just the spoken word creates universes, that level of being. So yes, you can actually see Yeshua as being probably the highest advanced incarnated soul to have ever walked on this planet, because that was necessary to bring about the change in our DNA structure. The plan was to have it incarnate in a body like ours and have it die, and then reanimate it, resurrect it, and then activate that into our DNA. Now, because of what Yeshua had done, we all now have the potential for the resurrection within ourselves, and that's a very important thing. This is why he said, I am the way, I am the light, and I am the resurrection. That was the reason why that word was put in there, okay? So here's what is happening now. We've come to a place now where the Schumann's resonance is a frequency of the heartbeat of the planet. It's been at about 7.8 for about thousands of years, and since 1980 has been slowly rising. The Schumann's resonance of this planet is tied to the alpha level of our brain waves. Our brain waves is actually synchronized with the planet, and the planet's frequency has been steadily rising since 1980, and our brain waves are supposed to have been keeping up with it. By keeping ourselves locked into the consciousness of the old, mankind has been slowly moving out of synchronicity with the planet, because the planet isn't waiting for us. The planet is about to move from a fourth dimensional consciousness into the fifth dimension. And because of the systems that pre-existed, we are actually in a position where we could miss the ride, because as the planet's frequency increases, we're not keeping up with the planet, because we love our comfort zones. We don't want to change anything. We don't want to especially engage in anything that's a frightening thought. We love the security of what is known. Well, what happens is that as the Schumann's frequency of the planet increases and becomes ready for this grand moment, the planet has been losing its magnetic fields, and the hold on our consciousness has been steadily unshackling and allowing mankind an opportunity to break away from what is known as the formed and the old, and to embrace the new and the transcendent. And there are things happening on this planet that coincides with what's happening in the galaxy. I'm going to just say quickly why I call this talk the cosmic time clock, just to show you that we are in a schedule, and there is time that matters, and we don't have forever to consider this. There might be a sense of urgency that we should be embracing, and here's the reason why. Our planet belongs to a solar system. Our sun revolves around a star called Alcyon, which is a part of the Pleiades, over to the right of Orion. I'm going to just keep talking. And that when our sun circulates, it takes 26,000 years to revolve around this central sun of Alcyon, which is the star system that planet Earth and our solar system belongs to. Well, there's a grand alignment. Whenever you have an alignment of planets within the machinery of a galaxy, portals open, gateways open, and energy of transformation occurs. We are in the midst of a grand conjunction that has never happened since the birth of this galaxy. And that conjunction involves our sun aligning with Alcyon, which is aligning with Sirius, which is to the left of Orion, which is aligning with the center of the Milky Way galaxy. And that has never happened in the history of this galaxy. This galaxy is also finishing a rotation of a 225 million year cycle where Alcyon and planet and the sun Sirius is completing one grand rotation around the Milky Way galaxy. That is also happening. Also happening at the same time is the end of a 26,000 year cycle called the precession of the equinox, where we have just, planet Earth, completed one cycle around the 12 zodiacal houses in our space. And the precession of the equinox is also culminating at this particular moment as we enter into the age of Aquarius. Also, our solar system has now arrived at what is called the equator of the Milky Way galaxy, because whether you know it or not, our sun does not stay stationary. It's actually moving in a helical path around the galaxy. It's traveling at millions of miles per year, and it's dragging the planets behind, and as it rotates, oscillates up and down, it has finally come to a plane that is at the level of the equator of this planar galaxy called the dark rift. And then through that dark rift, energies from the center of the galaxy are actually penetrating through us right now as we speak. We're also entering into a ring called the photon belt, which surrounds Alcyon, which is a transformational zone that takes 26,000 years as we go through Alcyon, around Alcyon. This ring of golden light actually bisects our path around Alcyon, and every 13,000 years we enter into a zone called the photon belt. All of these events are happening now. There's no mistaking, and the Mayan calendar, which is a sophisticated system of timekeeping that was revealed to us by a race of people that appeared around 1,500 years ago, and they disappeared around 9 AD. But they left behind a sophisticated calendar that, when deciphered, revealed that what is called time of no time, the end of time, not the end of the world, would be occurring at the 21st December 2012. So I tried to put all that into context so you can understand that there are so many evidences to tell you that this is a special moment in our history as humanity, okay? So what is entailed in this process? Well, first of all, what we need to understand is that